All right. So those are some of the things, when we talk about our teaching progression with the stance and start. Again, we want to make sure we're exploding off the ball. Okay. Head and eyes are up. Look, I always say look to and through the defensive back. All right, we want to make sure we're doing that, never giving him the idea that we're about to break on the route, so we always want to sail go. All right, shouldn't be wobbling in your stance or anything like that. Again, I want to be in a nice, comfortable stance, hands in the ready position so I can take off and get into that drive phase and getting into our route so we can win that route and win that game and get those touchdowns. All right. So now let's talk about the next phase. All right, we want to talk about the next phase. We talk about releases. All right, great opportunity. When I talk about releases, this is one of my favorite parts because I know it's going to be man coverage. All right, we're getting man coverage. I teach the receivers again. That goes back to what we talked about with confidence. This is telling the receiver, we got man. You should automatically win. Should be a win for you if you do what you're supposed to do, what you're coached to do. All right. So we want to make sure we're going through and adhering to all of our release techniques. I give a great barometer of different releases that you can use. It's up to the receiver to choose one and get where he needs to go. Can't spend a whole lot of time at the line of scrimmage because, obviously the play is going. All right, we want to make sure the quarterback gives time to get the ball off, and we don't want you dancing at the line. So we want to make sure you do what you need to do and get going. So the first one we talk about is real easy. It's the quick swim. All right. Some things that I teach in terms of receivers is look at the DB. Is his hands down like this, or is his hands up? If his hands down, it's very easy to use a quick swim, as I can get right here and get right here. As you can see right here, as the receiver is getting right here with his arm over. All right. And it's real easy. So it's nice, quick. So I'm in my stance. Boom, boom. It's very, very quick, very, very sudden. And then I can get into my route. All right. I call slow roll. A lot of people talk ooze off the ball. All right. So now with this one, as I'm getting off the ball, I may come here and boom, now I'm going to explode off the line. Just kind of want to lull him to sleep a little bit and just make him think that, hey, this guy may be just getting ready to block. This guy may be just doing something different out of the ordinary, but we want to lull him to sleep and make him want to drop into his coverage lanes. Or if he's playing man, we just want to explode. As soon as we get to that spot, boom, we can explode and we can go. All right. So we want to make sure we're using our head and shoulder fakes and to beat with the DB again with speed. With our rip technique, all right, we want to make sure we're doing our good rip technique, as you can see right here. As I'm right here in my stance, as I get ready to come to balance, I dip that shoulder. All right, I dip that shoulder and rip it on through. All right, and always you hear me say when we talk about receiver play is to stack. That is very, very important. As you're getting here, you're dipping, you're ripping, you're doing your release techniques, you stack back on top. Now we can run our route and we're not getting forced to the sideline. All right. We want to make sure that, especially if we're running go routes and things of that nature, we're not getting funneled all the way to the sideline. I usually say you want to hold your the bottom of the number as long as possible, working to basically where that red line is, and then we'll see that here in a minute. But yes, I want to get here and I want to dip and rip. Some good things you can do. Hold a tennis ball, on a cone. Get your young receiver to pick that cone up, the cone up, or the tennis ball that's on top of the cone, so he can really accentuate and get through on his rip, as you can see right there. All right, the crossover. All right, this is another good one. Every wide receiver always thinks that, or not, football player, let me just say that, thinks they can play basketball. Right? Everybody knows they can play basketball. So I always say, hey, show me your best crossover. It's as simple as that. So what we'll do is we'll sit there. We may have a dummy. It may be myself or whatever the case may be, but we'll sit there and boom, we'll work that phase right there. Boom, we'll work that phase right there. Then we go two-step. Boom, boom. We'll work the two-step off of it, all right? Now it's boom, boom. And then we just go in and get into what we need to do on the crossover. So you may see some receivers doing like this, like they had the ball. Don't care. It's individual. We just want to get you to learn and get comfortable with the crossover. All right. So we boom, boom, and we get into our route. Again, always making sure that we stack the defensive back. All right. All right. So those are some of the quick releases that we have going forward. All right. Again, I tell you, the kids that have the opportunity to kind of do whatever it is that they want to do in terms of the releases. But we want to make sure they don't do 50 different releases at one time. All right, we just want to make sure you pick the very, very best one. You're going through your pre-snap reads and stuff like that. Always have a plan in terms of as soon as you get on the line of scrimmage, you break in the huddle. If you're not a huddle team and you just kind of line up in your whatever formation you're in, just make sure you have a plan of attack when you see press coverage, and that will help you. All right.